Wake up, everybody. We're back. It's week 3. Hey, Ed, how's it going?
Hey, Stephen. Great to have you again.
Yeah.
It's always fun. Enjoying
Yeah,
it.
always. It's interesting. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a lot of people just like sending me a message, really enjoying this. It looks like you guys are really enjoying what you're doing. And I mean, I know I am. And thank you for
Same.
saying that. So, yeah.
No, I got as well a couple of comments like, "What the hell are you doing? You're spilling all the beans. Like everything you do while coaching, you do this now in a public space. Are you nuts?" And I think yeah, of course I am, but it's in the other way, it's also like, hey, we do something where we educate people, so
Yeah,
why not doing that for free? If someone else can learn something from what we're doing, I'm happy with that, to give it away for free. If they spend a lot of time with us on video
sure.
and hearing us rambling through,
Uh,
and having fun, of course.
and having fun and actually enjoying the cool things that young people do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But those who are listening, we just talked 10 minutes around TikTok and videos and fun stuff. So you should definitely check out Steven's YouTube, not YouTube, TikTok channel, if you can find it.
Yeah, at the pop-up retail, at the pop-up expert. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for the plug. Checks in the post.
Good. So let's dive into it. I will share my screen, then we'll go into the canvas.
Yeah. Okay.
For getting your online course into the right direction. So just wrapping up from last time. Oops, we looked into the deconstruct where we mapped out the players, the relationship, the challenges and opportunities, and then we ended up having the opportunity funnel set as first perspective is the user education, then the operator landlord education, then the supplier education from an order perspective. What I would love to focus today on is taking the user part into this one.
Yes.
And we start basically diving into details of the customer, which is like the people who are about to use the online course for themselves, which then of course most probably the users of the educational piece. So starting with a perspective of dream customers, which I always like to do. So a target customer combined with a dream customer, in a way of that, if you, in the best case, your dream customer, the people you spend most time with, are people you enjoy working with. So starting from that and then blending in the needs, dreams and desires of the people. So if you could choose who is using your online course, what are their attitudes and behaviors?
Okay.
That's the first one.
Yeah. Nice way to focus on that as well. So I think my kind of dream customer will be a retail startup that has already done some work around their offer, their products. Maybe they've kind of got a brand concept, but they haven't progressed it to where they want it to be in terms of a full retail brand. And that, for obvious reasons, they are well funded. They maybe have a business idea, but maybe don't have a full business plan. And then I guess the ideal from that as well would be that they have looked at pop-up retailing. They see that there is some value in either growing, promoting, or building their brand using that format, and so they're eager to find the venues, find staff, find equipment, and then get trading.
Okay.
Now, just to put some other color around that as well, that retail startup might also fall under the banner of being a native digital brand as well. so that they maybe they already have an existing online business that's, you know, does have some following, does have some client, but they actually want to get that out now into a face-to-face consumer facing market.
Yeah. So it's like retail startup and or native digital brand.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. So that's like the zoom in perspective. If we now look into what are their needs, dreams, and desires.
Okay, so the needs will be understanding, you know, what's expected in locations, what and all the things that go with that. So, what's the pricing? What are the services that are offered? What is the kind of management of that space? What staff would they need? What inventory levels would they need? You know, the kind of, you know, what's best practice around customer service? What would they need in terms of technology for either, you know, marketing, payments, security, so that, you know, they're the kind of they would be their top needs for sure. And then I think the other thing about that would be what is the next step from that. So, you know, I like to work with people that just don't want to settle with one location. So the dream is, you know, how are we driving this business? Yeah. So if you're getting into this just because you want to do, you know, one little pop-up in a mall that's, you know, 10 minutes from where you live, then you're probably not the business that is going to really A, make it big, or B, that I'm going to really pull out all the stops to help you, because I want to work with businesses that want to grow. So yeah, big ambition, love that. Certainly big ambition. So yeah, they want to drive the business. They've got ambitions. They want maybe that long term they have a goal from moving from pop-up into maybe inline retail anyway. And then the other dream, I think, is that how can they best use now technology with their business in terms of inline retail, online retail, and pulling together all of the cool things that are out there, whether that's, you know, click and collect or you know, virtual buying, whatever that might be. I think they're the and that really should be the dream of any retailer, not just pop-up retailers, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but that's exactly why we focus, like, what are the key, like, attitudes and needs, dreams, and desires of the customers you want to work with. You want to facilitate this online course around, because that will be attracting them going forward.
Yeah. Got it.
So desires.
So in terms of their desires, you know, they have to have the desire to you know, have the right location, and have the desire to put in the effort to what they're doing. You know, the desire, they need the desire to find the right staff, not just to settle for, you know, somebody that's breathing, which a lot of people do. So you know, oh yeah, you got a job. I think again, you know, the desire is to be the best at what they want to do. You know, that you can hold up people as a huge, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? That there's somebody that is really is a benchmark for, you know, how to operate, how to grow, how to retail.
That's awesome. Just coloring that in a different way, so we can easily see the differences. Let's see how I do that. Good. So that's this.
Mm-hmm.
If we take the needs, dreams, and desires of
Yeah.
your dream customer,
Mm-hmm.
what value can you provide to them with an online course? So we focus on the online course. We zoom in now.
Yeah. So I think the value comes from a step-by-step guide from day one on. I'm interested in doing a pop-up. Where do I begin? So what's the what there's let's say there's 100 different actions you need to take, right? So really I want it to be step one, this is what you need to do, and so it becomes literally step one, this is what you need to do, this is how you go and do it. Step two is this, and these are the things that you need to do. So it is literally a very carefully and logical progression through the journey of, I want to do a pop-up shop, to, hey, today I open my pop-up shop. So that there is a logical a logical journey, and then the other value in that, it comes from splitting out some of the key disciplines around that. So having something like building in amazing customer service, or building in merchandising of your product, building in the way that you price, or building in your 90-day a 90-day business plan, or a longer term business plan. So very much exactly the sort of journey that you would take any business through, any startup through, in terms of what's your business plan, what's your margin, what's your profit, all of those all of those kind of financial disciplines. But then here's all the steps that you need to do. The other value that I want to put into this is, I want to make this fun for people as well, because I'm a huge believer in, if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it? Right. So I think there's got to be some value in I want to get back to this course because I'm enjoying what I'm it's completely what I need it to be. This is I'm getting all the components that I need to get to where I open pop-up shop number one, but that they're eager to come back because they're actually enjoying the journey. It's not it's not task driven. And I'll give you a real specific that only just happened yesterday. I was talking to somebody about doing some more speaking, online speaking, virtual courses, right? And they were like, well, you're kind of going to need to put in 7 to 15 hours a week to get you to where you want to be. Now I've been speaking for the last 20 years, right? So I'm kind of like, that doesn't sound like fun to me, 7 to 15 hours a week. What are you talking about? And instantly I kind of turned off from that, right? I have a very I've developed my own style over the years. I know my subject, so I didn't know where we were going to go with 7 to 15 hours of work. So it's got to be fun. It's got to be, I want to rush back to this, and because I want to get to the end, because I'm passionate about opening up. I'm passionate about driving business. I'm passionate about employing people. So that for me, I think is all the things that that value for me should be, that should encompass.
So you didn't say it, but is it also about like delivering results to them, tangible? Going forward?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You can see, that if you and giving them the resources to do that as well, so that if you follow this will be your outcome. You can expect this to happen. If you do this will happen. But also I think that the value also comes in being actually practical about it, and far too often you see emails, promising you the earth about, this one page PDF will change the way that you market forever, and all they're trying to do is sell you something else and sell you something else, and so that's not what this is about. This is about, if you're serious, if you follow these steps, this is what you can expect to happen. This will work, because these are proven methods from hundreds and hundreds of retailers that I've worked with, with across hundreds and hundreds of venues. So that's.
I just put honest in as well.
Yeah.
So if we look back into the needs and desires, are you fulfilling all of them? Some more, some less? Is there something missing if we go into the value?
I think maybe the long-term vision we might be missing in the value. So that I think is something, and I think that there should be maybe the other thing that we haven't talked about is that it should be motivational. We talk about the desire is to put in the effort. So this course should motivate you to want to do well. That you literally, you start it and how many hours or how many days or whatever, how many videos you've got to watch, and so you're motivated to move to the next one. A great example I've seen of that is Jim Quick.
He's great.
He's absolutely fabulous, and I love the way that actually, with if you've read Limitless or you've listened to Limitless, that he has this whole resource about it, and you can't move on to the next video until you finish the first one. And so it's kind of, there is a nice controlled journey, but also that there is, he's laid it out in a way where it's very clear to understand, and actually I was totally engaged by it when I watched it. So and it was motivating me to want, for the next one to come up for the following day. So I want to have that same effect.
That's cool. So if we have now the value which you want to provide to them, how do we bake this into an offer? So the offer is now going towards laying out the foundation of the online course. So what are the key points of the online course, and how you want to structure that based on the value and the needs, of course, dreams?
Yeah. So I guess the key point of the offer is that this course is a turnkey solution to what you would need to really get yourself off the ground in a pop-up retail environment. So there will be areas that we can't really cover in so much depth, because the course would probably go on forever. But I think the offer is, if you're serious, if you've got those things that we talked about in terms of the ideal customer, you have a brand, or you're a native brand, or you have a product, then the offer is, we'll take you through that journey, and you'll open up your your first pop-up in X number of weeks or X number of days, depending how far you want to move that through. I also think that part of that offer would be that, having completed that online course, that could also give you, or give the user, some additional access, direct access to me. So maybe the offer also includes maybe a one-on-one review of their business plan, or when you buy the course, you'll get I don't know, X amount of hours coaching with me on a pure one-on-one basis.
Okay.
Maybe that's I mean, that's some real added value, I think, in terms of that. And then included in that offer would be, you know, that you know, we can you know, maybe give you direct access to locations instead of you know, some of the things that you might have to do to work that out for yourself. So, you know, give you some extra resources if you're putting in the, you know, if you're really putting in the effort.
So that would mean, if I understand you right, is basically if you do the online course and you finished it, then after that, that would basically unlock the possibility to engage with you in a different way than usually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be. I mean, is that something that's kind of done? I mean, I'm just trying to see how you.
We need to figure that out. So one perspective is, of course, the online course in itself. So that's already an additional offer, I would say, which we shouldn't delete. We should keep that. But we need to dive into what is the online course in all the details. Because when we go further into the next step, just zooming out a little bit, so we need to build that into a business and company, which is already a lot of things of that are given for you. But what we then need to do is basically bringing that into a validation funnel where we say, let's validate if that's interesting for the people. So we need to get more into the weeds of the online course itself.
Okay.
So you said, for example, a step-by-step guide. What could be different steps?
Well, so I mean, just take it through the logical journey. So understanding what type of pop-up you're looking to do, right? So, you know, are you looking to do you need just space because you have you already have some kind of, you know, merchandising equipment? Are you looking for something called an RMU? Do you know what an RMU is even? Are you looking for a kiosk? Are you looking for an inline store? So that whole step by step. So what are the options open to you in terms of how does pop-up operate, right? I also think that the other part of this course is then identifying actually what kind of pop-up you're going to be anyway, right? So are you going to be a retailing pop-up? Are you going to be a purely marketing, you know, like it could be a, you know, a big brand, or it could be just a new product that you want feedback in? So you're actually not retailing. Is this more kind of, you know, customer awareness and you want feedback? Or are you a service driven business, in which case, you know, being a lead generation service driven pop-up is very, very different from being a retail pop-up. So so I, you know, understanding what element of that you are. So what kind of pop-up are you going to be? What kind of environment is best for your pop-up? And then looking at what's the time around the needed to build your brand, your presence, to acquire leads and so on. So how much time do you need? And then, having established all of those, now let's start looking at what's the best environment for you. So, you know, is that a very community-based mall? Is that a very, you know, a larger destination mall? Is it an outlet mall? Is actually your offer driven better being maybe, you know, outside, for instance, you know, and again, depending on the product. So that's kind of so what's the location? And then within the location, there's, well, what's the best place? What should I be looking for? What else do I need? You know, what are all the kind of back office things that I might need to do, as far as maybe obtaining permits or insurance in order to get that location? What kind of contract do locations hold you to? What can you expect as far as I said earlier, you know, the support and management of the environment? Do you want to be in an environment where, you know, they sell you the space, they you know, they kind of give you some guidance on what's acceptable and how you can operate, and then they just walk away and leave you to get on with it? Or do you want somewhere that's really going to take an interest in what you want to do and wants to help you grow your business as well? Because, you know, they're completely poles apart. So from the location, of course, then and establish the type of kits, you know, the type of environment you want to be, then you know, who's the best people to operate that? You know, if you're a startup, can you operate that on your own? Or how do you recruit the right people? How do you train those people? You know, what skills do those people need to help you grow your business? And like I said, it isn't just somebody that's got a pulse. You know, you want somebody that is you know, kind of sees this as an opportunity. So that there's all of those. There's that whole, you know, staffing, recruiting, training aspect. You know, where's the best place to recruit? How do you recruit? You know, and so on. And then looking at the physicality of the pop-up. So what's the best way to start merchandising? You know, are you you know, I'm a huge fan of less is more, right? But, you know, more often than not, people will walk through and see you know, certainly retail merchandise units packed to the gunnels with product that is just confusing and it's difficult to purchase. So, you know, so I think adding part of the offer is, what's the best way to merchandise? What's the best way to price? And then within you know, the next aspect of that is then, what's the technology that you're going to use? You know, while you're there, you know, what kind of payment technology do you need? What kind of you know, internet Wi-Fi do you need? What kind of marketing while you're there do you need? But also, what kind of pre-marketing might you need in order to you know, create some awareness before you even get there? So there's that whole aspect as well. And then there's the operational aspect, that, you know, what's the you know, what are the logistics around making sure you've got the right stock where you need it to be? What's the logistics around, you know, your staffing and when people need to be there? What are the key times when maybe one person isn't enough? You might need two people. And then operationally as well, and this links back with locations, what's the best time to actually be there? You know, is there any point in you going in there the second week in January when, you know, people have kind of got the holiday season hangover and it's very quiet? Or do you actually see that as an opportunity because you've got something that's really cool and very new? So I think understanding, you know, timing as well, I think is a good something that people just tend to ignore. And so the natural progression of that then is, you know, what's the financial plan of how that's going to operate? So you know, what's your expenditure going to be? What you expect your results to be? What's the profitability in that? And then, you know, having established all of those things, what's the next logical step on how you're going to grow this business? Because it does not mean that the next nearest mall or the next nearest location is, you know, 10 miles away. I'll just go and replicate what I've done. It doesn't. You know, you really do need to understand the environment that you're in and why that is working for you, or why maybe it isn't working for you. You know, what element have you got wrong that just didn't, you know, make all the cogs, you know, run smoothly? That's quite a lot.
So two perspectives.
Yeah,
I just hear. So one is like, and it could be even different products, different online courses. One is how to build a pop-up, and how to establish one. And the other perspective could be how to operate a pop-up store, which makes it smaller. And maybe it's interesting to more looking into, and I just speak out of experience. I've built up a 25-day challenge as an online course, where it's like, how do you build the fundamentals of your business in 25 days? And doing an exercise which is 25 days long is quite a hard thing. So you need really committed people to do that, which I love, because that's what I want to, that's the people I want to work with, who are really committed. So it's what is your view on how long should this course be? Should it be a week? Should it be a month? Should it be 5 hours, 2 hours? Do you have any feel for that?
Great question. I actually think that breaking it down into smaller bites that maybe are, no more than a week long, actually, make it far more just psychologically manageable. I think that's right. One other thing, just leaping back, is that also opening up some of those elements brings in a whole different access to clients, because it does bring in those people that maybe have done. Let's say we've got 3 portions to this, that the kind of how do you do it, what works, and then what do I do next? So the kind of what do I do next people that maybe have gone through the pain of doing it themselves to get their first pop-up open, but are now, so what's the support I need to move my business forward? So maybe that is a whole element on its own, that you've been through the pain. Look, you could go back and look at course 2 and course 1 in terms of did you check all of these boxes, and is it working well for you? But the next step is unit 3, which is this is how we grow your business.
I think that would work. So you could do different modules, for example.
Exactly.
And that could be in one, it could be still in, it's like you get access to it, but inside the module you need to do module 1 before you can do module 2. Or inside the chapter, you can have in a module, you can have different chapters, a bit like to the point you said, you would love to have people who engaging, but they need to finish the understanding of one piece first before they are able to go to the next one. So that's exactly, that's all possible. So of course it's getting a lot now, but that gives us a rough understanding of what it could be. The interesting piece of, and that's what I love to do always, is this is now all brainstorming level. So you have no idea if that's really resonating with people, that people are really interested in, hey, I will jump into an online course. So before we go into how you monetize that and how this works with your company, one thing we will be doing, going into the next week where we do this call again, we will take this as it is. We build out a way of how you can prototype that before you spend time in recording and doing an online course. What we do is basically we do we build something that looks like, oh, that's a menu, and you basically ask people if that resonates with them. You ask people who are in the pop-up space, who could be potential customers of yours, and you ask them about, hey, what do you think? Would you be doing an online course if it's answering these questions for you? If you would get this outcome, hypothetically, what would you say? So we do different prototypes going forward, where we basically mold that together, that you, out of the prototyping phase, you come back into, hey, that's exactly the structure that has resonated with 80% of the people, and that's going to work.
Understand. Okay, cool.
So going into the business perspective, and we will not do a very, very deep dive into that, because we could be building up a business model and so on. So we purely focus right now on the monetization of it.
Mm-hmm.
So from a price range perspective, do you have already any idea where it should be?
Do you know, I actually don't, and that's, I think maybe that's that's one of the questions that I need to ponder on, and need your guidance on, because I guess in some way you want to price it so people realize that there's a value, you know, this is what, you know, there's a value in terms of that, but equally you don't want to outprice yourself,
Right.
but equally, you know, you don't want to underprice it. And this is something really new to me, so I'm kind of, you know, given what you see, where do you think that sits? You know, is it I don't know, is it 99 and below? Is it you know, 50, 49 and below? I'm kind of this isn't my wheelhouse, as the phrase goes.
That's
so
good.
I don't.
That's even the best case, because the worst thing I always see with people building something is they assume that it's for them. So it's like, what would you pay is the wrong question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you value your content in a different way than your potential clients, your potential users of the online training, online course, which means we need to ask them.
Yeah.
And that's we will build that in next time as well. It was more for me to understand if you already have a navigation angle, which we could have been using, but it's really so then is, do you want to build that into a platform which is yours, or do you want to leverage other platforms?
I'm keen to leverage other platforms, just because I think that there's, you know, that broadens the appeal to people, or broadens the marketplace, but equally would want to promote this course, you know, through my own channels. But I think that there's the broader appeal comes through using, you know, recognized online platforms for learning.
Yeah. Good. We will not go more into the business angle right now, because we have not enough data. We will go back to that. So one thing we need to figure out is the offer valuable to potential customers. That's what we do next time. Is the possibility, of course, of having this then resonating with different price ranges.
Yeah.
So it's basically content you need to understand, and then from as higher the value, perceived value at least, for the people or potential people using this online course, as higher you can price.
Yeah.
So that's different things we will be testing next time to figure that out.
Okay. Super.
We will not go into company, because that will distract now. And you have already a business established, but what the company part is about is like, if this is your main business, which is not right now for yourself, is how do you need to restructure your business that's fulfilling the needs, dreams, and desires of your potential customers going forward. So it's when I work with existing businesses, I mean, this is now a new business stream for you going forward, but when I work with existing businesses, we look into, do you need to change the business model of your company to be able to go into that direction?
Yeah.
Which most probably for you is not the case. So validation, we take just a quick look at that. We for the next time, what we need to put in is price as one perspective, then offer. And you have already, you mentioned different offers. So there, normally you build up offer staircases, which is like the online course might be the entry into the Stephen Brooks world, where you get like the first way of working with you, engaging with you, and then there are different other perspectives where you loop in the customers going forward. We go back to that when we have validated the first one. I don't want to mix everything up right now. because in the end we want to create an online course.
Yeah.
So it's offer which then means for us content of the program,
Mm-hmm.
and as well platform.
Mm-hmm.
So these are different. We can do different tests in understanding would your customer base or potential client base, customer base from the online course prefer a specific platform to another platform, yes or no?
Got it.
So it's
Right,
just giving us an understanding. Maybe they're all on, let's say, what is out there teachable.
Mm-hmm.
And you would build it up in Udemy, which is a different platform, which is also working in the same way, but it's maybe not resonating with your customers because they do other online courses. So something we need to figure out is just having that in mind. And then, of course, price range is what could be valuable to find out after we have found out the more going into the content.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
That was a quick one. we could spend way more on that, of course.
I know.
So
superb. Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm every time we do this, I get more excited about the outcome. So yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of content in there again today, and thank you for bringing that out from me. But yeah, I think certainly we've got to look at that price aspect. That's important, and then, as you say, understanding, you know, what is the right environment for this to be in, and then, you know, having done that, and I'm sure we'll get to this, you know, what's the right approach for marketing this course as well. You know, how do we target those people? So, and I know we'll get to that, but yeah, worthwhile. So, and again, so just has made me rethink. It's interesting. I come away from the, and I did this last week about, I'd forgotten I knew that. You know, I should really do something about that, because that's really relevant right now. So anybody watching this, apart from working with Jens, which anybody is fortunate enough to do, and I say that with all sincerity, that I think this is what this process does as well. It brings out you know, the things that, you know, we forget that at the time just are exactly right. So thank you for doing that.
That's why I always said everyone should have a coach, or at least a mentor who help them understanding their world from a different perspective, because I have no idea about what you do. I'm just helping you to open up your brain and put the things on a mural board, which helps you to see it from a different perspective, which then in the end gives you an epiphany, an idea of, hey, that could be a direction of what's working.
Yeah,
that's
exactly right.
The biggest value I can provide to you.
Yeah,
as a coach.
You know, but how many people forget that as well, or don't think that there's value in that, because there is so much value in that you just, you know, it's off the scale.
Good.
Cool.
That's it for today.
We're done.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a wrap.
See you again next week. We still have fun.
No, we do. And listen, send us your comments again. Let us know what you're thinking. And if you've got some, you know, some ideas, or even if you want to, I don't know, you've seen what we've done today. Maybe if you've got an idea about what the value might be, that would be interesting to see how people think along that. Or are there things that you think we might have missed, just from a purely non pop-up business perspective? So that would be really interesting. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Good.
Always a pleasure. Stay tuned. Should we go out the way we came in?
Yeah, you need to switch off.
You can switch off now. We're done. See you all soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.
See ya.